Hey guys, I want to make this is a follow-up video to the first one I made about my musical journey, and this followed by a few other videos are just gonna be like thank yous to people personally that I've grown with these past few years musically, and I'm still growing with, and I just want to say a huge thank you to them, and I'm starting in order by how I met them. I think in total it's about three people. So I'm gonna start with the guy who I've known the longest. Um, his name is Silvio. His YouTube account is Silviola824. You should check it out. It's pretty cool stuff. And we met in my third grade year, and we've been friends ever since then. We've gone to the same middle school, same high school, and stuff. It's just he's a really awesome guy, and I've known him for so long. I've had the privilege to get to know him, and he's there for me. I'm there for him. I consider him my family. I love him. He's everything. So I want to first say thanks to him for everything he's done for me, for you know all the fun times we've had, and then I'm gonna explain to you guys some of the wacky stories we are. And it's kind of funny. He's 18 years old. I'm 17 years old, and we still act like the little. We still, when we were together, we still act like 7-year-olds. Children at heart. We're always like jumping around doing shit. So it's pretty funny. So I met him in third grade. How I met him was quite simple. It was just we, there's this lunch line we had to follow, and he came from Nicaragua. He was, a transfer student, and he was in the line behind me. I guess on the third day, I turned around and I said hi. We hit it off from there, and then we started hanging out more. He took me to his house, and it was quite. I felt like I was in a Lego store, because he has all these Star Wars Lego figures like back in the old day before the new Star Wars stuff came out, and he also had a lot of Bionicles, and it was quite amazing. And they were all just on display. He doesn't play with them. I played with them a few times, with his permission, of course, and sometimes without. But it's always fun. And then we would stay over at each other's houses. Um, there's this really funny story behind one of those instances. So in my old house, I turned my garage into my play room, I guess. I had a TV there with my gaming system. I had one of the first PS3s, and and some sofas in there, room to do activities. So we've been playing in there, and one day, he's gonna stay the night, and I say, hey, let's just sleep in there, I guess. I'll get some, blankets and sleeping bags, and we'll just sleep in there instead of going back to my house. And he's just like, oh yeah, sure. So we start off, and we're playing video games, and I don't know what the topic was about. I think it was just about earthquakes actually, and it was about midnight, close to 12:30, and there was a guy outside, and he was about to start up his motorcycle. The garage was closed and everything. We didn't know what was about to happen. So we're talking. All of a sudden, we hear the engine rev up, and it revs up so loud that it sounds like an earthquake. And then some stuff inside the garage started shaking. We scream, and we're like, "Oh shit!" And we run out of the garage, and then we're all winded and stuff, and we look outside, and it's just a guy on a motorcycle. We're like, "You fucker!" It was pretty funny. We go back inside, and another thing was, you know, we're getting around the time where we want to go to sleep, but then we notice that we feel like we're being watched, and we look, and there's like a doll it's one of my sister's dolls there, and it looks like a really creepy doll, and we get freaked out. We put the light on the doll, and it looks even creepier with the light on, and I'm just like, I've never remembered that doll being there, so we like turned the face around. Oh, we turned the face around, and eventually I put it inside a drawer and locked it up. So that was fun. And then we started sleeping, and we were just on the ground for our sleeping bags, and we I didn't know this, but there was apparently cockroaches in there. So in the middle of the night, I wake up because I feel something, crawling on me. I wake up and I flash the light on it and I scream. I wake him up. He sees like there's four cockroaches on my lap, and he starts screaming. I like kick them off and do all this shit. And then like we get scared, but just whatever. I go back to sleep, and then I wake up and it's like 6 in the morning. I don't know. Somebody was banging on the door, so I wake up. I look over to him. He's gone. I'm like, where'd he go? And my brother had this crib in there. He was really young at the time, and that's where we would put him when we wanted to hang out in the garage. And Silvio was sleeping in the crib, and it looked like the most uncomfortable way to sleep ever. Like his face was, on the crib. His body was tilted like this. His legs were outside of the crib hanging over, and it looked really uncomfortable. But he looked like he was sleeping like a baby, and it was pretty funny. I didn't want to wake him up because I was afraid if I woke him up, he might do something weird and break something. I don't know. So he wakes up, and it's pretty funny. Another um, great adventures we've had was in my old neighborhood. There are mountains nearby, and we went hiking one time. And well, not one time. We went hiking several times, and just exploring and doing stuff, and it was really fun. And um, one time wanted to walk, see how far the trail takes us, and we walked for like it felt like 4 hours. Um, we decided, all right, it's starting to get dark. Let's head back. We check on Google Earth, and we weren't even close to the end. It was pretty funny. I'm like, if you keep following this trail, you leave San Jose. I think you end up somewhere in Gilroy, actually. It's pretty funny. And we were fascinated with these mountains. We liked hiking them and stuff. So one summer, we go to Lake Delaval. I think that's what it's called. And there's mountains in there too, and there's also a lake. So we decided, hey, let's go, mountain hiking. We'll come back, we'll eat, and then we'll go to the lake, do stuff. And we get lost in the mountains for, I think it was, I don't remember, it was either 4 or 6 hours. And it was like, we were lost, and we were just like, we didn't want to say we were lost, but we knew we were lost because we've been in there for so long. So we eventually find our way out, and our parents were almost on the brink of calling the cops looking for us, and it was pretty funny. Um, we come after that day, we come over to my house, see exactly what happened, and turns out we got lost because we were going in circles. The way it was to enter the mountain, the trail. It was just a whole, you know, a really long strip of trail, which took us like an hour or two, I guess, to get there. And then there's the trail that connects like four mountains together. It was just literally a giant circle, which we went on about 3 or 4 times, but we didn't realize, and that took up about 2 hours. And we just didn't know. We were just talking to each other, as we're enjoying the scenery, we're also having conversations, so we don't realize. And then we eventually like, hey, this looks familiar. I think this is the way out. So we head back 1 or 2 hours. So there's your 4 to 6 hours. We don't exactly remember how long it took. And we're just like, wow, we're idiots. It was pretty funny. And then we've had adventures. I have a lot of photos of our adventures. Another thing was we really loved cheesy sound effects like explosions and is and one time our favorite video game we played together. Well, we don't play as often now because my PlayStation broke, but it was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and we'd always love seeing the explosions, and what we would do sometimes we would drive cars off cliffs in that game, and we were with another friend, and he lands it, and there's no smoke or fire, which is the indication that your car is about to explode. Silvio says it explodes, and then 2 seconds later it does out of nowhere, and my friend was so pissed off. It was really funny. And, just stuff like that makes them really great. Another thing is we have a lot of different ways to say hi. We never we never text each other often. We have such a great friendship. We don't need to text every day. As with my the other two people I want to talk about, we never text really. So we whenever we see each other in person, we always say weird, different ways of saying hi. You know, he took French, so he would start saying bonjour, which eventually turned into Bon Jovi, because we both listened to Bon Jovi. It's like we just walk by Bon Jovi, and it's like bonjour. Next thing was like the phrase "oh hi," which I turned into Ohio, and it's pretty funny. And then another one is just us. When we see each other and we're a distance away, we point to each other and we do it in a straight face up until we notice, and when we point at each other until we get dangerously close, and we just say "what's up," and that's it. And he's a really crazy guy, you know. And I remember sophomore year at our school, there's this thing called for kids taking AP courses called the AP retreat, and you could fundraise it by selling beef jerky. And it's like Silvio bought one. He comes up to me, and then he goes, "I bought myself some root beer," and holds up the stick. I'm like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "Oh." So now whenever we see beef jerky, I always goes like, "Hey, look, it's root beer," and he's always laughing. And then you know, our freshman and sophomore year, when we lived in our old neighborhood, our high school was pretty far away. And on the last day of school, we had a tradition, um, just walk home. And it took a while, but it was fun. We're talking, reflecting on the year, seeing how things go, and it was fun. So, um, it was like sophomore year. We build up on snacks. We had Pringles in my backpack and stuff like that. I wore these pants where I forgot to wear a belt, and they were falling constantly. So it was kind of funny because we had a weird way of saying stuff. Like I said, my pants are falling as I'm taking out one of my Pringle cans, and he looks and he's referring to the cans, but he doesn't say it. He's just like, "Are those mine?" And I was like, "No, these are not your pants." And he's like, "No, the Pringles are they mine?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." And that was pretty funny. Um, you know, other adventures we've had, just like little kids. Um, we went to a few this one sewer thing. It was pretty fun. We got to see the water and stuff like that, and just have fun. Um, the way to sum up our friendship, he summed it up for me. One summer, he had a girlfriend, and he was telling me, he was texting me, and he said, I feel bad that we haven't gone to hang out this summer. I was like, no, dude, it's fine. I'm still here for you. And he says, and he said, I forgot which way the topic was saying, but I told him I feel like you're cheating on me with that girl, and he's like, no man, this is a complicated bromance, I love you. This is like really funny. So and I was there for him in his relationship. He was there for mine in my relationship. He was really there for my first relationship, helping me up. Even when I went to therapy, he was helping me too. So it was fun. Well, therapy wasn't fun, but him being there for me, it's nice to know he's there for me. So Other stories we have together is musicals and stuff like that. Um, One time we took a field trip to the San Francisco Museum of Art or something like that, and um, our it was for AP Euro, and our AP Euro teacher just tells us, you go anywhere you want, just don't leave the property. So we eventually get bored of being inside the museum, so we walk around the area, and we actually do leave the property, and we didn't realize it until we were like, this doesn't look familiar. I think we should head back. Thankfully, none of the teachers figured that out, and I can't really say anything about that now, but it was fun. And then, we took AP Euro. We hated it, you know. We grinded through it, but we still hated it. It was, funny. And, it's always fun with him. He's always there for me. I'm always there for him. We love a lot of the same stuff. He's a really star musician. He's in the Stanford Symphony Orchestra, and he's not even in Stanford. He's in Paco, which is a Palo Alto chamber orchestra in Palo Alto, obviously. And it's fun to see him grow as a musician as well as like I have. Music changed everything for us. The way we knew it changed everything for us, because sometimes at his house he had a pink play piano, which was his sister's originally, and we'd always be playing on it. It was for girls, and it was just a play piano, but we'd constantly be playing on it, and we're just like, this is how we know we're like, musicians and nerds and stuff like that, and it's really funny. Um, so it's nice to see him grow and stuff like that. And the other thing was we some whenever we'd hang out, sometimes we'd just it would be early, like over summer, like at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. We don't know why. We just like being out at that time because nobody's out, and we'd walk around, San Jose. And what would always happen was we realized, hey, everything is closed. There's nothing to do, and we just go to Burger King and eat there, and it's pretty funny. And we even went there on Thanksgiving one time because we wanted to walk around, but we didn't realize everything was closed on Thanksgiving Day. So we were like, oh, okay, we'll just go to Burger King. That's the only thing that's open. And, another thing we would have was when we would work on musicals together. Before we had a musical, we'd go eat at Jack in the Box, which was by the school, and we'd always order the same thing, and it was almost a tradition. Well, one time, I asked for a drink, and the cup was broken at the bottom because it was leaking everywhere. And I saw it, like, oh, this is leaking. I'll take it back to the guy. And I come back, new cup, fill it up, put it down, and it's leaking again. I'm like, what the hell? And he just starts laughing at me. I take a third cup, put it down, like fill it up, put it down, and it's still leaking. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not taking it back. So I just put a bunch of like napkins under there, and but we've had our adventures and stuff. I'm still, I'm very grateful I got to know him and have him become part of my life. I don't know how I would be off without him in my life. I don't even think about it. He's such a great friend to me, and he's always we. I don't think we've ever fought at all. We've had like little nicks here and there, but that was like I think only two in total nicks. One was like when I was telling him I don't want to be late. the and he's not an early riser at all. So some and another was like I guess he didn't I guess it was like something about Facebook I wrote on his wall and he didn't want that, and I didn't know how to delete it either, so he got a little ticked off, but I was shook it off and stuff like that. And yeah, I love you, Silvio. I know I say it, I always show it and stuff like that. You're a great friend to me, and I know you want to be join some sort of science. I forgot. I think it's astronomy or anatomy. I forgot. And he's still gonna be close. He's going to UC Santa Cruz. So um, I wish him best of luck. Hopefully we'll stay in touch even after college. I'll work something out. I really wanna keep him in my life. So yeah, Silvio, you're a good egg. You're an amazing guy to me. I thank you for everything. I love you, dude. So yeah, thanks for watching, Silvio. If you want to watch this, or other people who tend to care, I don't know who's you know I don't really but thanks for everything. So bye.